Hello, good morning. Welcome aboard to AM News. My name is Denisia Pomaiji. Let me take you through our first story. The Attorney General, Dr. Dominic Ayine, has frozen several properties across the country, along with a fixed deposit account containing 10 million cedis belonging to the former Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana National Buffer Stock Company, Abdul Hanan Wahab. So, according to the Attorney General, painstaking investigations uncovered how between 2017 and 2024, Mr. Wahab, his wife and others allegedly siphoned over 78 million Ghana cedis from the company's account into various firms that they had secretly established. Presidential Affairs correspondent Maxwell Agbagba reports.
Crop with high domestic and export potential.
According to the Attorney General, among the properties owned by the former Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana National Buffer Stock Company, Abdul Hanan Wahab, that have been frozen by the state with steps initiated to confiscate them include, but not limited to, a number of residential properties across the country. A fixed deposit account containing 10 million Ghana cedis, a 5-bedroom house at Chain Homes valued at $1.6 million, a 3-bedroom house at Cantonment worth $600,000, a 17-bedroom boutique hotel in Tamale valued at $250,000, and several other assets acquired between 2018 and 2024, which he says were purchased with proceeds of crime.
1. A 5-bedroom house bought from Chain Homes Limited, between February 2019 and December 2020 at a cost of $1,625,000. Of this amount, 5,758,165 Ghana cedis, that is the equivalent of 230,841 United States of American dollars, was paid directly from the accounts of the investigated entities. The balance was paid in cash to Chain Homes by the couple. In July 2020, the couple purchased a 3-bedroom house at Cantonments from Golden Coast Developers Limited at a cost of 600,000 United States of American dollars, using two of their companies, Fahausa Ventures, owned by the wife, and Fahausa Company Limited, owned jointly by the couple. The land documents were, however, registered in the name of their wife. Between October 2019 and February 2021, the couple purchased plots at Fanali's airport development site for 750,000 United States of American dollars. The total payments were made in cash in the name of Faiza Seydou Wuni. We have the cash, receipts from the developer. Now, ladies and gentlemen, other properties acquired by the couple are as follows. A 17-bedroom boutique hotel at Gumani in Tamale, in respect of which the couple used Fahausa Company Limited to sign a franchise with Villa Monticello for the price of $250,000. In other words, $250,000. So they wanted Villa Monticello to run it as if it is a Villa Monticello hotel. So they paid $250,000 to Villa Monticello, in order to hide the identity of the hotel.
The AG says the former Buffer Stock boss and his wife have been charged. The charges will be filed on Friday, October 24.
Bank documents obtained by EOCO reveal that within the period that the suspects operated this criminal enterprise, Mr. Abdul Wahab and his wife and their entities became the largest depositors at Republic Bank, and the branch was at Labone branch. Lastly, we have frozen all the assets of Hanan that I have listed, including a 10 million Ghana cedis fixed deposit account at Republic Bank, Labone branch. That is the liquid assets. We've done the freezing, including those of the vehicles. So on account of the foregoing, we have decided to charge Mr. Hanan Abdul Wahab and his wife, Faiza Seydou Wuni, with stealing, conspiracy to steal, causing financial loss to the state, using public office for profit, obtaining public property by false statements, and money laundering. The charges will be filed on Friday, and I have the charge sheet, the draft charge sheet, which I am reviewing here.
The Attorney General has also been responding to claims that the government's Operation Recover All Loot initiative is moving at a slow pace. Dr. Ayeni has also served notice of plans to amend the charges in the National Service fraud case following revelations from a forensic audit conducted by the Auditor General. The audit found that the financial loss to the state has increased significantly from 548 million cedis to 2.2 billion cedis.
Now, away from the Attorney General, monitoring of meters by NEDCO at night, the need for efficiency at the utility companies, affordability, engagement, metering, and among others, were some of the key issues that came up at the Tamale Forum organized by the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission to gather views ahead of the tariff adjustments. Well, the residents said these are some of the concerns they want addressed by the companies. Speaking to the media, a board member of PURC, Nanaya Jantwa, said the PURC would deliberate on the issues raised by customers, and if the utility companies are found not to be doing the right thing, the authority would ensure that they are sanctioned.
The forum brought together representatives from the Ghana Grid Company, the Ghana Water Company Limited, and the Northern Electricity Distribution Company, to educate residents on the proposed increase and also to respond to the issues they would ask after their presentations. Residents from all walks of life, including students, sought information on how to have their concerns addressed. Speaking at the event, a board member of the PURC, Nanaya Jantwa, said one thing they noticed was limited engagement between the utility companies and their customers.
Our biggest issue at the PURC is the question of engagement, that the utilities should engage the consumers. They should engage the consumers so that the consumers should know what they are supposed to do and also what the utilities are supposed to do for them. One of the issues that came up is the issue of metering, and there's an issue of engagement.
She added that they would ensure at the end of the engagement that there is a fair balance for all parties.
I want to emphasize that whatever proposals that was brought today are proposals that will be interrogated by the PURC. So at the end of the day, we'll put in place all the necessary technical variables, and the most important variable being the decision variable will also be considered. Which is the decision variable? The decision variable is what the people today at this public hearing have told us. You've taken note of what the chiefs have said. You've taken note of what the people have said. You've taken note of what the young children, the young school ones. I'm surprised about some of the questions that they ask. Very intelligent questions. So we have a whole facet of consumers. So at the end of the day, everybody should be assured that the PURC will come up with what is good for the consumer and what is good for the utility service provider.
Speaking before the commencement of the forum, the CEO of the PURC, Dr. Kwabena Nyakon, said with effective dialogue such as the forum can help shape Ghana's utility sector.
You have a unique opportunity to interact directly with the utility companies. They will be making presentations right after the chairperson has spoken. And in this presentation, they will explain many things to you. But please, you are now free to interrogate the things they explain, ask questions, and make suggestions. So the reason for being here is simple. As the utility companies explain their tariff proposals, we are giving you the opportunity to interrogate and make suggestions, and make sure that the commissioners here in Secret will listen and make input on the basis of the suggestions that we are going to make.
And moving on to other stories, the Member of Parliament for Ibuako South, Dr. Kingsley Agyemang, is urging African lawmakers to pass and enforce stronger laws to end health inequality across the continent. So, sharing the story of a young mother who walked several kilometers to give birth only to find the nurse had no delivery kit, said that such tragedies expose Africa's deep healthcare gaps. Dr. Agyemang made the call at the 5th Federation of African Law Students Continental Conference in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. There's more captured for you in this report.
Friends gathered students, lawyers and policymakers from across Africa to discuss how legislation can strengthen healthcare systems and protect citizens' rights. Speaking on the theme, Legislating for Health Justice, Advancing Universal Health Coverage in a Pan-African Context, Dr. Kingsley Agyemang urged Parliament to move beyond rhetoric and enact reforms that make healthcare equitable, accessible and universal.
That is the true spirit of universal health coverage. To legislate for health justice is therefore to legislate for human dignity. It is to recognize that behind every clause debated and every budget approved stands a life that depends on the choice of Parliament. We have to put a human face to health justice. At the heart of every policy, every statute, and every budget plan lies a human story. Health justice is not about statistics or hospital infrastructure alone. It is about the lives and dreams of people whose names may never appear in our reports, but whose struggles define the moral duty of leadership. A few years ago, I met a young mother in the eastern region of Ghana. She had walked more than 6 kilometers to reach the health center, only to find that the nurse on duty had no delivery kits. She wrapped her newborn baby in her own scarf, smiled, and whispered that she was grateful her child had survived. That single encounter taught me that legislation must not only allocate funds, it must protect dignity.
Dr. Kingsley Agyemang also called for a continental legal framework to harmonize national health laws and align with the African Union's Agenda 2063 and Africa Health Strategy.
Health justice in Africa cannot be pursued in isolation. Disease, like poverty, knows no borders. A child cough in Lagos, a cholera outbreak in Harare, or a malaria set in Isigani can all ripple through the continent if we do not stand together. The pursuit of universal health coverage, therefore, demands that African nations see themselves not as competitors, but as collaborators in a shared human project. Our strength lies in collective vision. The African Union's Agenda 2063 and the African Health Strategy reminds us that our future will be written not in the silos of national policies, but in the bridges of continental cooperation. When nations share data, align health standards, and build research capacity together, they create a shield that protects every African life.
Some participants in Addis Ababa welcomed his message, saying if African leaders adopt his recommendations, the continent could make real progress towards universal health coverage.
I think for the most part, when we talk about health equality, we focus on the health receivers, the patients who receive the health, but we forget that there are also providers who provide the health. So when Honorable was giving his speech, he mentioned that it's a shared responsibility, and so it has to be a very good balance between the providers and then the people who receive the health and governance in general, because then that ties into the legislation bit of everything.
For Dr. Kingsley Agyemang, health justice must be Africa's next major legislative priority. For JoyNews, Carlos Caloni, Addis Ababa.
But moving on, Executive Director of Voice of Women and Children, Ghana, Juliana Afenyo-Markin, has called on the government to take a serious look at the cost of medical examination for victims of sexual violence, particularly persons with disabilities. So she stated that the huge cost of medical examination scares victims away from reporting to the police and also to the health facilities. Our correspondent in the Upper West region, Rafik Salam, reports.
The program held by Voice of Women and Children with Disabilities, VOA Ghana, in partnership with the Africa Women Development Fund, was in twofold: educating and sensitizing women on sexual-based violence and breast cancer and screening them to ensure that they are not victims of the cancerous disease and other diseases related to the breast. The participants were drawn from the 3 selected special schools in the one municipality and other women with disabilities from the West District and one municipality. Executive Director of VOA Ghana, Julian Afenyo-Markin, laid bare the intricacies and challenges involved when persons with disabilities are sexually abused.
Be good, and sometimes to the negative attitudes of the law enforcement agencies towards women and girls with disabilities in reporting such issues is always appalling, because you go there to make a complaint that this person has harassed me sexually or has abused me sexually as a visually impaired, and the only question they could ask you is to tell them the color of the shirt that the man was wearing. How do I tell the color of the shirt as I'm a visually impaired? But that doesn't mean that I don't know that somebody has forcibly have an intercourse with me or someone has forcibly pressed my breast. So all these are some of the challenges that we have seen, and with the support from African Women's Development Fund, from the CASA initiative. CASA is a Twi word which means speak, that they founded us so we could come to WA and then train these women and girls on how to report these issues. And so today we are here to train about 50 women and students with disabilities on how to go about reporting such issues.
Julian Afenyo-Markin called on stakeholders, particularly the government, to make the medical examination of victims of sexual-based violence free.
When they report the issues at DOPSU, they're supposed to obtain a medical report from the hospitals. And sometimes the doctors charge around 800, 500 cedis, sometimes 1,000 cedis. And most of these women and girls are not working, and so they cannot afford this amount of money. So they end up not reporting. So what we have been raising awareness, speaking with stakeholders and other duty bearers to even erase that fee, so that a person who has been violated is vulnerable. They don't have that kind of money. So when they go, at least the government should set up a fund that will cover such costs, so that these people will not be frustrated to pay.
The VOA Ghana Executive Director also threw further light on the program, which they will be replicating in Tamale on Friday. Public health nurse and one municipal coordinator for adolescent and school health, Shirley Pearl Grubier, urged women to take advantage of the month and beyond to visit health facilities for them to be properly examined by health workers.
We should encourage them, as the month is designated for that. Maybe we'll see how stakeholders can help with a little learning or readable materials that can be given out to these special schools, so that they can read these ones. If it's in the visually readable mode, the one that has a sight problem can read and know information about breast cancer.
Reporting for JoyNews, Rafik Salam. Wow.
And from the Upper West region, let me bring you back to Accra. Tensions flared at the Agbugbuloshi market as pepper sellers clashed with the Accra Metropolitan Assembly's task force during a Clean Ghana enforcement exercise. The task force had moved in to clear portions of the market said to be operating under unhygienic conditions. But some traders resisted, accusing the AMA of unfair targeting and failing to provide designated selling areas. My colleague Stephen Mensah was there and filed this report.
The exercise, which began in the early hours of Wednesday, forms part of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly's renewed push to rid markets of unauthorized structures and improve sanitation. Director for the Clean Ghana campaign, Florence Cookie, tells JoyNews the assembly will intensify enforcement and begin a full-scale crackdown on traders who flout the directive.
In our AMA sanitation bylaw, the market sanitation bylaw, you are not supposed to display your ware below 3 feet. Because when you display your ware below 3 feet, we know that the ground is not paved. Even if it is paved, there are some microorganisms that can easily have contact with your food and the product will be contaminated. Somebody will say, yes, even when it's contaminated, we'll go and wash, we will cook. It is not every microorganism that when you wash and you cook, they go. When you go to the market, you see that there's a dwarf wall. Everybody is supposed to be inside the dwarf wall. Anyone in front of the dwarf wall is going contrary to the sanitation bylaws. It's just that people are refusing to change. Since people are refusing to change, we will use the law to help them change.
She says corporates will be arraigned before court for flouting the sanitation bylaws.
Being a first-time offender, you've not gone to the court before, you can be fined not less than 50 penalty units, which is 600 Ghana cedis. And if you are not able to pay, you can go for remand for 3 months. Every day we have our information van going around educating people they should move from the roadside.
But in a sharp rebuttal, the traders say the assembly failed to provide alternative spaces before the confiscation exercise.
Since we have nowhere else to trade, we've decided to sit here. We don't have the money to rent shops either. We understand that you mean well for us because this is a road and anything can happen. A driver's brake could even fail. But for the little we are trying to earn, that's why we are trading here.
Abigail, a trader who deals in the sale of pepper, says although the action is justified, the Accra Metropolitan Assembly must intensify public education before carrying out such exercises.
It's true, if they were consistent, we would find a way to cooperate. With the way they've shown up today, they should be coming around more often.
The traders are demanding more consultation and better relocation plans before any further demolitions and exercises.
From the Agbebloshi market here in Accra, I am Stephen Mensah, reporting for JoyNews.
And whenever you hear that sound, right, you know what time it is. In just a few hours, the prelims take a sharp turn into old grudges and new ambitions. One-time champions at Disadel College, whose tribes once terrified opponents, returned to the NSMQ stage to face similar rivals, familiar rivals, Asin State College and the ever-fearless Ya Asantewaa girls, all chasing just one thing, a seat at the 1/8 stage. My colleague Jacqueline Ansomayeboa has more in the following report.
At Disadel College, unfortunately, the journey ends for you here. Hopefully, next year, we will see a comeback.
This is not a casual contest. It's a rematch with history baked in. During the regional qualifiers, reigning champions, Infantapim School, denied at Disadel a 4th straight regional crown by just 3 points, a loss that still bites today. Now, at Disadel and Asin State meet again, and both are very aware there are no second chances at this level.
God is still with us. We'll surely come back strong.
I come in with a different strategy and morale.
What do you have to tell Ya Asantewaa and Disadel?
It's either us or no one, because we've gone back and done our homework and we are going to put on our best.
And while the battle brews, eyes will also fall on Infantaman Girls Senior High School. The last time they were seeded was almost a decade ago. Today, they return to the NSMQ stage, trying to rewrite their story or risk walking it off again.
Yeah, we promise an exciting contest with all our contenders. We are going very far this year and we are aiming at sending the trophy to our school this year.
Okay, so it's going to be a host and win for you.
Yes, please.
Meanwhile, the day just gone gave viewers enough fireworks to last a week. Kumasi High School, Kobo Girls, T.I. Amas and Nkutia Presby Senior High School all delivered strong performances to secure their tickets to the 1A stage.
I'm wishing my boys at Disadel College all the best today. Well, it's now time to hand over to the Ahanta Pele Samuel Kojibri to bring us some business news.
Well, let's start our business with what's trending on the currency market. Away from that, economist Professor Peter Kote has called for stronger collaboration between Ghana and its neighboring countries to accurately measure the impact of informal trade on the country. His comment follows a revelation by the Ghana Statistical Service that the total value of informal trade in the fourth quarter of 2024 is estimated at 7.4 million Ghana cedis, representing 4.3% of formal trade volumes recorded. Professor Kote spoke to Joy Business.
I think the Statistical Service has given us a lot of information to chew on. They've told us the kind of goods that are being imported or exported. They've told us the routes, etc., the countries or the destinations, import or export destinations. So it is up to us to look at those ones that are low-hanging fruits that we can immediately increase production. Those we can invest, and then in the medium to long term, we can produce more. We do so. Also, looking at the demand for some of the products and where our brothers and sisters in neighboring countries cannot produce, we can take advantage of our comparative advantage and produce more of such goods and export and earn foreign exchange. Togo, for instance, you see a lot of cassava products being carried across the borders. I mean, if you travel to Lomé, you see how many of our women and men carrying things across the borders and trading. I believe there is a demand for this product, so we have to take advantage. Policy intervention in terms of facilitating access, facilitating easy passage, even providing support in terms of credit for production, to boost local production.
Let's wrap the business update with what's happening on the commodities market. Well, that's all in business update for you. I'll hand over to Poma. But just after Poma and after the AM Sport, we'll bring you news review. And then we delve into the big stories as well. And in the big stories today, quote, I was never an incompetent lawyer in private practice, and I don't want to be an incompetent lawyer in public practice, unquote. Attorney General frustrated and makes a passionate appeal for patience as pressure mounts on him to expedite prosecutions and secure convictions in fulfillment of campaign promise to recover all loot. Also, NSS investigations takes a new turn as forensic audit reveal amount embezzled, allegedly more than quadrupled to 2.2 billion Ghana cedis. Plus, reintroduction of the anti-LGBTQI plus bill in Parliament to generate heated controversy as Minority Leader Alexander Afenyo-Markin accuses NDC of backtracking, on their words. These and many other matters are rising for discussion with our panel. We'll have Dr. John Osai Kwapong, who is a CDD fellow, joining us for breakfast today. Dr. Joshua Zato is a political scientist and policy analyst. He'll be joining us as well. Elekem Kotoko is Deputy CEO, Forestry Commission. He will be on the show. And Nana Yao Sapon, Deputy General Secretary of the United Party, will be joining as well. You know what? Your thoughts are very much welcome. So join the conversation via phone and all our social media handles. We will be glad to hear from you. So stay tuned and join us when the time comes. Back to you, Poma.
So that's it for AM News. My name is Denisia Pomaije, but you know that if you want more stories, there's one place for you. Please log on to myjoyonline.com. Have a wonderful show.